All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a question that, every single developer using AWS has to ask themselves eventually. Once your database is actually up and running in the cloud, how in the world do you manage the thing?
So you did it. You got your relational database humming along on RDS. But let's be real, that's just the beginning. The real work is next. We're talking monitoring performance, creating backups, rebooting instances, tweaking all those little configurations. So what's the best way to handle all these day-to-day tasks?
Well, it turns out AWS gives you 3 core ways to get it done. You've got the visual management console, the super fast command line interface, and you can even write your own custom code. Now, each one is built for a different kind of job, and knowing which one to pick is really the key to working smarter, not harder.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the AWS Management Console. The best way to think about this is like it's your visual command center. It's the most common starting point for pretty much anyone getting their feet wet with AWS, and for a really good reason.
So let's say you're setting up a database for the very first time. Or maybe you've got to make a really specific, kind of complicated change to a security setting that honestly you're probably only going to do once. Where do you even start?
The console, that's your answer. It is designed for exactly these kinds of situations. It gives you this clean, top-down, administrative view of everything, laying out all the options so you can click around and really understand what's possible without having to memorize a single command. It's an absolute game changer if you're a visual learner.
For example, taking a backup, what they call a snapshot, becomes the super simple visual process. You literally just go into the console, select your instance, click Take Snapshot, give it a name, and hit Confirm. It's a guided workflow that really helps cut down on simple mistakes.
So, yeah, just think of the Management Console as your go-to tool for visual, deliberate actions. You're going to use it for that initial setup, for those complex one-off tweaks, or really anytime you just want to see all your options laid out before you make a decision.
But what happens when you need to do the same task over and over and over again? Clicking through a graphical user interface, a GUI, is just too slow, and frankly, it's easy to mess up. And that's exactly where our second method comes in, the AWS Command Line Interface, or CLI.
This is such a common scenario, right? Imagine you need to create a database snapshot every single night, or you just want to do a quick status check on an instance without having to log into the whole console. These are tasks that are just built for speed and automation.
Now check this out. With the CLI, that entire 5-step process we just walked through becomes this one single line of code. You just tell it the service, RDS, the action you want, create DB snapshot, and which database to target. It's fast, it's efficient, and best of all, you can stick it in a script. And here's the really cool part. After you run a command, the CLI gives you back this structured data in a format called JSON. Because this is machine readable, your scripts can instantly check that the snapshot started, log all the details, or even kick off the next step in a workflow. I mean, this is the very foundation of real automation. So you're going to want to reach for the CLI whenever you're scripting those repetitive jobs, like daily backups. It's perfect for doing quick status checks right from your terminal and for automating all your maintenance. It's really the perfect tool for developers who want to work faster and get a deeper feel for how AWS works under the hood.
All right, our third method. This is where things get really powerful. This is for when you need to go way beyond simple scripts and actually build management features directly into your own applications.
Yeah, this is the next level. I mean, what if you want your app to automatically scale resources when traffic spikes? Or what if you want to automatically reboot a database if some performance metric goes haywire? You can't do that with a simple script. For that, you need custom code.
So to pull this off, use what's called an AWS Software Development Kit, or an SDK. For all you Python developers out there, the go-to tool is Boto 3. It's basically a library that lets your Python code talk directly to AWS services, like RDS, giving you total programmatic control. Using a library like Boto 3, your application can make these simple function calls to get super detailed information about your database instances. This lets you build things like a custom monitoring dashboard or an intelligent alerting system right inside your own software.
And this is where the magic is. You can trigger administrative actions, like rebooting an instance straight from your application's code. This lets you build these incredibly complex self-healing systems that respond to problems automatically, all based on your own custom business rules.
So without a doubt, programmatic control is the way to go when you need to integrate RDS management deep inside your applications, when you're creating workflows with really complex logic, or when you're building your own custom tools for monitoring and management. Okay, so let's bring it all home.
We've covered the console for all your visual tasks, the CLI for speed and scripting, and custom code for that deep integration. Now, let's tie it all together.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've got 3 fantastic options, so how do you pick the right one for the job you have to do right now?
Well, the decision really just comes down to the nature of the task. If you're exploring or doing a one-time setup, use the management console. If it's a repeatable task you want to automate, use the CLI. And if you're building intelligent systems with custom logic, you turn to code with an SDK like Boto 3. It's that simple.
But here's the thing, the real power comes when you realize you don't have to pick just one. You can use the console to set everything up, have a CLI script handle your daily backups, and then a Python app for your intelligent monitoring. So start thinking about your own projects. How are you going to combine these tools to build your ultimate workflow? Hey, if this explainer helped you get a better handle on your RDS management options, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with your team, and definitely subscribe for more deep dives into the tools we all use every day. Thanks so much for watching.